This is Jim Black from All Cal Financial. I asked him here today because what I'm trying to do as part of this video series is talk to some of the originators on the Vonk Digital platform that are just being creative and doing things in their market to promote themselves. So Jim, again, thanks for the time. If you don't mind, can you give just a little background on yourself for everybody so they understand who you are?
Thanks again for having me on. My name is Jim Black. I'm the founder of All Cal Financial. I've had a long, extensive career in finance and specifically lending. I'm doing loans for 19 years. And before that, I was a trader on Wall Street. And I learned a very good lesson in that first job of the Wolf of Wall Street type mindset, where having a transaction mindset is not a good way of living life. It's better to be in relationships. So I thought a natural fit for me was to develop my model around relationships and creating value. And that's why I love the mortgage industry. We get to help people, not entities, make more money.
That's awesome. Just talking about the transaction mindset, you just derailed me, but I think this is really important. Because as I talk to a lot of people and they're hungry for ideas on what to do, I really do my best to try to steer people away from being transactional. And there's a lot of things you can do to just get a quick lead online or talk to the next person, but really it's about the long game. And we're trying to push people to, get on video, differentiate themselves. Like, are there certain things you're doing in your market, you or your team, that your ways you're promoting yourself or marketing yourself that kind of aligns with that?
Sure. So in my industry, in mortgage, there's the retail and independent brokers. So I'm in the independent broker position, which gives me the most flexibility to have creative ways of gaining clients, sharing information, creating value. What I love using video. And I think my biggest responsibility in anything I do is to stay relevant by staying in the trenches of doing loans. A lot of leaders in my industry become micromanagers, they become middle managers, they become not boots on the ground or actually in the transaction anymore. And I think that's a mistake. So a lot of things I do, I'm sharing perspective that I'm going through on a daily basis to make sure that I'm providing the best level of service and best advice and strategies that are in existence. For example, today, bridge loans are very important loans to look at. That's being able to buy a home before you sell a home. Well, guess what? Big banks, larger companies don't do them very well. So I've taken a big focus in learning specific niches that I know are unique in the marketplace. So I'm always trying to differentiate myself by those more complex opportunities, very similar to a 203K loan, which is a renovation loan everyone talks about. Yep. Well, there's only about 50 people that do them in the country, but it's just good to have those different differentiations. So being niche and being able to stand out in a crowd is really important to me. And so I like to do that through video or through my marketing efforts, traditional marketing, or events. I love events. I love what we're doing right now. I love to have one-on-one interactions to listen and also hopefully leave an impact on that person I'm talking with or collaborating with.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about niches for a second. You just brought that up with the bridge loans. So I've heard from a lot of people over the years that they're worried about leaning too far into a niche because they feel like all the other loans that they may have an opportunity will go away. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, do you think there's any validity to that?
Yeah, great question. So I learned my lesson in 2007. I was at a large bank, Washington Mutual, and I was the West Coast custom construction loan specialist. 95% of my business was custom construction financing on new homes for second homes, jumbo homes, and even some investor tools that we had. Well, one day in September, it was September 17th, I think to be exact, 2007, the program just turned off.
Wow.
because speculative or new construction or land loans or anything related to using future value or equity went away overnight.
Yep.
So it was kind of wild. So fortunately, I had a time horizon ahead of me that I was able to shift my business back into all traditional realtor-based, relationship-based activities. So I went from doing 95% of one product only in 2007 to then switching over to doing a quarter of each type of product, from purchase to refinance to cash out to home equity loans the next year, which was interesting, right? So I went from one solid pillar to then having multiple pillars of business. So my lesson, fortunately at a younger age, was it's great to have niches, but have multiple diversifications of those niches.
Yeah.
So if you want to do bridge loans, that's fantastic. You should also learn how to do reverse mortgages or combo lines of credit or other types of strategic loans that allow you to know that you can ride a market out, and you know sometimes this tool or product might be better during this market condition, and then this one might be better during another condition. And if you do that, you're going to find that you have, ironically, less volatility in your type of business, but you get to experience a more dynamic day of potential opportunities. So I like that because I'm thought of as a creative and custom professional, and that really lets me be localized and also be genuine and authentic.
Yep.
Which is really hard to do just online, right? The online approach is to get me the introduction, but then I have to follow through and show my expertise and my strategic approach to getting the right solution for the need.
Yep. So it's almost like your niche now is just being highly educated in the programs, understanding the benefits depending on the market cycle, and really being able to educate your clients on different strategies and creative strategies to get them to whatever their goal is. Which,
absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
start talking about that more.
Yeah. My favorite analogy that you may use going forward is the Dos Equis guy, right? He's the most interesting man alive. And he always says what? He always says, stay thirsty, my friend, right? Well, what do I say? I say, stay niche, my friend. So I'm
stay niche.
Stay niche, my friend, right?
That's awesome.
Stay niches. My niche is that I'm niche. So,
no, that's great. So the industry shifting, right? You know, we have the hyper digital lenders. I think now is an amazing opportunity for the local professionals like you that are kind of embracing technology, but also you still have the consultative relationship aspect in your market. Where would you see the next, let's call it 5 years going? You see any, are you ready to pivot in a certain way, or are you just leaning in hard to the community? Like, what's going on?
Great question. Very good question. This is the answer that everyone's trying to get to as quickly as possible. What's worked for me in my career has always been to be localized, engage in the community, and try to add value, not only in a mortgage, but other voids or needs that someone may have in their life, not only today, but 2 or 3 steps ahead. I've been lucky in my life to have owned 17 homes. In those experiences, probably too many homes, but in those experiences,
What are you moving every year?
What's that?
Yeah. Moving every year?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I'm moving tomorrow, so no, just kidding. In those experiences, everyone has a different time horizon for their goals, right? So the challenge that online companies have that have a robotic mindset, they don't know those challenges, right? They aren't listening for the ages of the kids. Maybe they're in junior high school going into close to college, or maybe they're empty nesters and they're not going to live in the property for more than 5 years.
Yep.
Those subtle little things are very, very important that you can only get in interactions like we're doing now, right? I can dive deeper on a subject if I hear there's a pain point or an unknown or questions, and I can really make sure that I navigate the needs correctly. And I like an application as a roadmap to building a relationship. I believe you can get 12 or 13 different engagements and relationships or partners out of a transaction. from a CPA to a financial planner to an insurance person to the realtor to whatever those people have in their lives, or the things that they need. Hey, Jim, can you give me 3 recommendations for realtors or insurance people, right? So it's really awesome to have that. So I think the key is going to either be lowest transaction costs online, like an E-Trade or something like that, or it's going to be diving a little bit deeper and having it be more about a relationship mindset where, you know what, Jim and All Cal have my best interest in mind. They're going to help build me a team around my needs, so that way I'm covered. I don't have to go learn a new process every couple months or go online and watch 75 YouTube videos that all pitch something weird or strange. It doesn't make sense. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to be present. I'm trying to be engaged and make sure that I'm giving the best creative solution. And again, mortgage industries, the industry we're in, independence and having variety is very important. Sometimes there can be way too many choices, right?
Yeah. It can be
But
overwhelming.
we use 50 different investors, which represent about 4,000 different ways to do a loan.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you see, what I'm hearing is more of a holistic approach, advisory. Again, back to your point, not transactional, more relationship based. I love it, man. You're a career originator, career executive. I think you guys are going to keep growing, and you're a company to watch and a person to watch. So honestly, I appreciate the time today. I don't want to take much more of your time. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you at the conferences this year and catching up, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help you, bud.
And thank you again for all you guys do at Vonk. You make it super easy. Changes happen all the time on websites or videos or whatever it might be. So I appreciate you guys as one of my big time partners that makes me successful, right? If there's delays and things and takes longer to get things implemented, I may lose out on that market opportunity. So thank you for leading the way on that. You and your brother are obviously a great duo, and I appreciate you even more because your involvement in the industry. You speak my language. You've been in the trenches. You know that it's not a cakewalk. And refinances are fantastic. I love helping clients, but to me, it's really creating that dream of home ownership, and it's creating that vision for someone that they can do something, they can get to their goals. And that's something that I think most passionate people like myself really enjoy, and that gets us up the next day to get excited to do more.
Yeah, I mean, your company is so large now that you're hitting that critical mass where it's going to create a lot of opportunity, but you're also, I commend you for staying in the trenches, so to speak. I think that staying close to the client is absolutely huge. And that'll carry you through for as long as you want to be in the business, man. I think it's awesome.
Cool, man. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you so much for having me. And
last thing before I let you go, Jim. So before we started recording this video, you showed me a video that you did with your team. Can I share that with people?
Sure.
And again, to me, I've been up on my, soapbox preaching video and preaching creative. Some of the videos we do for Vonk are goofy and fun, and we parody a lot of pop culture, with the Mac versus PC ads and some of the stuff we've done with Office Space. Anytime I see people taking some creativity and bringing it into their world, I just think it's amazing. And if you're cool with that, I'd love to share it with people.
Absolutely. I'll give you a little backstory on the video real quick. What's important for me is to be available when someone needs me. Yep. I look at myself as the bat loan man, right? Like, I want to be available when someone needs me. Yep. I don't want to be in their way. I don't want to be their distraction. And so I want people to know that I'm surround myself around a team that is better than myself, that have better skills than myself. And that's why I did this video, because to me, I want to illustrate that it's not the Jim Black show. It's All Cal Financial, and we all work with each other. No one works for me. We all work together to get that goal done. And I do own the vehicle that's in the video. So,
which is so cool. Yeah. I'm gonna push that out to the world. So that's gonna be, just tell your team that they're gonna be famous soon.
Sweet. Thank you very much.
All right, Jim. Appreciate the time again. We'll talk to you later, bud.
See you soon.